Hello, my name is Tim Roberts, U.S. National Director, and I want to thank you for watching this video about a tool that I am very passionate about, the power of one. Before we get into the actual tool and how it works, I think it's important that we step back to the why behind its creation. You see, for years and years in BNI, we've been asking, why are members not renewing? Why do they leave the amazing opportunity that a BNI chapter provides them? Far too many times, I would just hear the answer, well, it's because they don't get results. To which I would always ask, well, why? Why are they not getting the results to justify renewing in their chapter? This question was met with, well, it's because they are not doing it. They're not following the program. If they only did the activity, they would see the results. Now, unfortunately, this is where the conversation often ended. Not many people were asking, well, why are a lot of our members not engaged in the activities that produce the results? Is it that we are just finding lazy professionals to join BNI? I don't believe that's the case. Personally, I believe it's because most members are simply not aware of the actual activity they're doing in BNI. They have no way to easily interpret the data that is shared and understand if their activity is on par or not. Look, the truth in BNI is only a part of what most people do in a week. When they leave their meeting, they're extremely busy with deadlines and family obligations and other networking events, etc., etc. And with our upfront accountability, I think we tend to weed out a lot of lazy people right at the beginning, very early on. So I don't think that's the main issue. Here's why the Power of One was created. It was designed to help this one issue. How does a member quickly and easily understand the POMS information and what it means? The Power of One is simply described as a history report of your activity that you're solely responsible for in BNI that allows you to understand two things instantaneously. Are you being active enough to deserve the results you say you desire, and are you being effective enough? The common misconception about this tool, or others just like it, is that it ranks members or that it identifies bad members, both of which I think are big mistakes. I call it a history report for a reason. It looks at your previous 6 months. You cannot change that data once you see it. The real question is, where are you going from that point? Where will a member be in 6 months from now? It can absolutely be a useful tool when looking at renewals, etc., but only if properly explained and educated in a chapter ahead of time. To look at a report for the first time, or even for the very first few times, and make judgments is wrong. With a rolling 6 months of data, you're always carrying the past for a period of time. In fact, when I first rolled out this tool in our regions, most of my team members were in the red, and these are the best of the best, and even they were unaware of their activity. I'm going to show you the report in a few minutes and how the scoring works, but before I do, there's one more bit of history that goes along with it. When we first rolled this out, we used to call it the Member Traffic Light Report. Now, some regions may still use this term, and it's not a bad term. We just decided to change it to the Power of One for a couple of main reasons. Number one is because you score 100 on the report by averaging 1 in each category, but more importantly, it's because of the meaning behind the words. One challenge I see in BNI is we always talk in terms of we, right? We passed this many referrals. We passed this much business. We did this many one-to-ones, etc. Now, we have to do that, but the challenge with that and always talking as a group is it's easy for someone to lose sight of the impact and importance they have as an individual member. It's easy to assume we're playing a role in those numbers even if we're not. I firmly believe that no chapter, no region, no franchise, no country, no global company like BNI can ever reach its true potential unless every member does. We all make a difference in our chapters and in our regions, and it's important to believe and understand the power we each have, even as one member, one director, one executive director, and so on. As we have continued to study this tool and this philosophy, it becomes more and more clear how true it is. Okay, so we now know the why behind the creation. What about why it's important? Why should any one member really care about their activity or the activity of their fellow members? I mean, Tim, is it really important, or is it just all B&I mumbo jumbo, or as I've heard before from some of my members, that's just B&I math? Well, I could talk for days about word of mouth marketing and this report, and don't worry, I'm not about to. I do think it's important to take a couple of minutes and explain how referrals really happen in your chapter and really anywhere in networking. What we desire as business owners is not just quality referrals, but a consistent flow of them. We've all received referrals before. Why people join B&I is to get more and in a more predictable fashion. To get that, you need to understand what you have to develop first. Now, I break this down into two parts as well. First, you need to develop a network of people who want to find you more referrals. And when I say want, I mean they mentally have decided they want to help you. The reason you don't get many referrals from your friends and your family members is because they don't want to. Now, I don't mean that they are being malicious and trying not to help you. It's they don't think of you in that way. They have a completely different relationship with us. We need a strong relationship that's built on a foundation of business. Yes, we can, and we will likely become friends. But the first foundation needs to be a business relationship, a mutually beneficial and mutually reciprocal relationship. This is B&I. Your chapter and B&I's philosophy and structure help you develop this exact network more efficiently and effectively than anything else. It's one of the main reasons for having a chapter. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Being in a chapter is not quite enough. The second piece of the equation is once you have the relationship, you need to then train and educate these people who want to help you on how to help you. How do they actually do it? One of the biggest assumptions we make when networking is people know what a good referral for us is and how to find it because it's so easy for us to do ourselves. I mean, if we can see them everywhere, they must be obvious to everybody else, right? Wrong. The truth is, members in your chapter are walking by referrals for you all of the time and have no idea. And it's your fault, our fault, that they don't know how to either identify those opportunities or what to do when they do identify an opportunity. You need to train them on how to see the referrals for you and, just as important, what to say to someone when they do see it. Now, these can be separate trainings in and out of themselves, and it's why the biggest differentiator of B&I and any other networking organization is the access to training and coaching you have in your region. Use it. So, how does this tie into the power of one? Well, let's take a look at what it tracks. Number one, attendance. How can you educate your members, or, just as important, learn about them if you or they are not present? Consistency is what builds the retention of the information. The retention of that information is what empowers your members to find those referrals. Number two, one-to-ones. The most important activity in B&I. Look, you can think of it this way. You can try and train 30 plus members in a minute or less at a time with a week off in between each minute, or you can laser focus on one member for 30 minutes and really dig deep into the information. Which will be more effective for you? When I left B&I as a member, it was to do B&I full time. I was averaging between 5 and 6 referrals received a week, but I was also doing 5 one-to-ones a week. They drove over 50% of all my referrals, so they were worth it. Number 3, referrals you're passing. Givers gain, enough said, right? Look, the quickest way to develop the want to part of the equation is to showcase you want to help them first. Number 4, visitors. The only way to increase the odds of getting more referrals is to increase your opportunities. The only way to do that is to have more people in the room learning how to help you. Expand your contact sphere, expand your referral opportunities. Even if you never become more effective in what you're doing, you're going to receive more referrals based on more opportunity. To me, bringing visitors to your chapter is the ultimate sign of givers gain. And 5, finally, CEUs. How do you become more effective in your networking? You learn the skills. How do we learn the skills? Training. BNI gives you access to specific training on how to become more effective in this system. Use it again. Look, every spring starts spring training in baseball. Professional ball players head to where it's warm, and I'm jealous of that, and train for the upcoming year. What do they train on? The basic of basic fundamentals. Pitchers pretending to throw a pitch and running to first base to catch a pass. Simple, basic things they've done forever. Now, some of these people are making hundreds of millions of dollars because they are literally the best of the best in the world, yet every year, here they are, practicing fundamentals. Yet, in BNI, we come in, we take one training once, and we go, yeah, I got this. That's always blown my mind. Like, I've been in BNI for 16 years. I've been a member. I've been in every leadership team position that exists. I've been an ambassador, a director consultant, a managing director, an executive director, and now national director. And I'm still learning about BNI and referral marketing every day. We need to embrace one of our company's core values of lifelong learning. The power of one tracks the activities that makes results possible. Again, it shows us if we're being active enough and effective enough. Now, just because a member may be in the green, which you'll see in the report, does not guarantee results. It significantly increases the odds of results. But look, you can do one-to-ones all day long. If you're doing them wrong, it won't matter a bit. All right, so let's look at the report. You can see in this example how it scores each category 0 to 20 points and puts a color to each score so you can understand if you are on track activity-wise in that category. It also gives you a total score and color. Now, the way that breaks down is for a total score of 70 to 100 is in the green, 50 to 69 is yellow, 30 to 49 red, and under 30 is gray. The scoring is very fair, and you can see on the scoring tab in the report how each category breaks down. Now, to score 100 on the report, this is what you need to do. You need to average 95% or better attendance, average one referral passed per week, one visitor per month, one one-to-one per week, and finally one CEU per week. It looks at, again, the last 6 months because it gives you a clearer picture. Some weeks you won't have a referral, we get that, but on a 6-month view, it gives us a clearer meaning to those averages. Now, the calculations are individualized by how many actual weeks you were a member in that 6-month period. So if you have been a member for only 2 months or 8 weeks, your stats are divided by 8, not the full 26. Now you can see, though, that you can see very quickly who's been active and who hasn't been. Those individual members would then know if they've been effective. When rolling this out to a region or chapter, you just need to explain the why behind the report and why and how to use the report. Remove the fear of the first score they will see and explain to your members why what matters is where they are 6 months from now. This is meant to help each chapter and each member see the impact they're making or where they could make a bigger impact. There are a few questions now that are common, and I want to cover those for you now as these may come up. Number one, why are subs only half credit? A common question with a very simple answer. If you're having a person sub for you at your meeting, and that is just as valuable to your members as you personally being there, you should probably stop going. Look, you get credit for having a sub versus being absent, but it cannot be the same value as a member themselves being there. Keep in mind, this is about relationship building. Consistently being there matters. Number two, why is thank you for closed business not even on here? And there are a couple main reasons for this. First, this report tracks what you are accountable to, and what you are not entirely accountable to is thank you for closed business. You could pass an amazing referral, and your member could mess it up. Is that your fault? Someone could forget to put it in. Is that your fault? Look, thank you for closed business is an important stat, and it needs to be considered. The power of one is not the end-all, be-all. It's just an important tool. Closed business is important to look at, but it's not the only thing either. Now, that leads into the second reason, which is, again, thank you for closed business can be very misleading, and it actually can cause issues in chapters. I mean, I could walk into your chapter this week, drop a $250,000 referral to someone, walk out, and at the end of the year, I'll likely be one of your top thank you for closed business passers. Now, how many people did I help? 1. How many times did I help them? Once. Was I a good member? Look, the truth is the activity drives the thank you for closed business anyways. In fact, in our regions, our members in the green, on average, pass over 4 times more business than those in the red and over 8 times more than those in the gray. I've had a lot of members come to me over the years and say they don't care about the Power of One score because they pass the most business in the chapter. What they fail to see is how few people that's going to. Usually it's just their contact sphere members and little else. And they fail to recognize how much more they could be giving with the right activity, right? These people might be very effective. They're just not active. If they picked up the activity, more results. If your chapter builds a culture around accountability to activity and learning, I promise you, closed business will go up more than you can even imagine. This tool will help build that culture. I hope you found this video to be helpful. And if you did, you can also, if you did and you want to learn more about the Power of One and other topics in BNI, you can check out the Power of One podcast in iTunes and everywhere, just BNI Power of One. There's also the BNI podcast, there's the new BNI University, and the amazing training opportunities in your region you need to take advantage of. I hope you use this tool. I hope it's used in the right way. It can be very powerful, very motivational, and it can really drive results, which will drive retention. Make it a positive tool, not a weapon, and it will produce the results you're looking for. If you ever have any questions, we're always here to help you.